Aloha, everyone. Scott Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Coronado, California. It is November 8th, 2015, 5:03 in the afternoon. We're talking about things that can make you a better salesperson. And I want to introduce you to a concept, and I got this from a guy named Ken Wood who lives in Delaware and New Jersey. And I saw him at a convention, and it was about 6-7 years ago, and I had gotten to a point where I was stagnant in my sales process. I couldn't grow anymore. I was like at a 50 to 53% closing rate consistently, and I wanted to get to the next step. And so for you, what you need to know is it's easier to go from like a 30 to a 40% closing rate than it is from a 40 to a 45, and then from a 45 to a 50. It starts becoming incremental, and the sales become more and more difficult with the information, depending upon the information that you get. So if you have a really good trainer, they can get you there. I didn't have a coach at the time. I didn't have somebody to work with me. So I had to figure out these things on my own. And so Ken was speaking at this event, and he said this thing on stage to just ask one more question. So he went from like selling $1.5 million his first year to selling $2.5 million his second year, which was a really big deal back then. And so I went to him after the event and I asked him, I said, hey Ken, he's sitting at the bar. I said, Ken, I really want to understand what you were talking about by just asking one more question. And he says, well, if you buy me a beer, I'll be more than willing to tell you. And I was like, heck yes, $8 for a beer and get some insight and figure out what I can do. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So I talked to him a little bit and he said, hey, look, here's what happens is most salespeople get stagnant towards the end of a sales call. And the only thing that they know how to do is discount. They don't know how to get that person re-engaged. And so we talked a little bit and I said, well, what are some of your secrets and how do you do it? And he shared with me. So one of the questions that I came up with is what is preventing us from moving forward? So I figured out how to ask this because he said, a lot of this is going to be up to you and your personality. You just have to figure out how to ask one more question, but you got to go 5 deep for every objection that you're going to have, because what you really need to do is be able to keep having the conversation and stick in there for a little bit longer. Because like a lot of times salespeople are just going to go straight for the discount. You got to figure out what their real pain is, and if you don't know it by the time you get to the end, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do to get that person back on board, okay? So figure out what you're going to do. You have some homework here. Figure out what you're going to do to be able to ask just one more question. But really, you need to be able to have 5 deep. So if someone says, hey, I want to think about it, you got to have 5 more questions. If somebody says, hey, I want to get 3 bids, you got to have 5 more questions. If somebody says, hey, I need to talk to other vendors or whatever objection, whatever the top 3 objections are, have like 5 extra questions. Now, I'm going to let you know something. You're going to have like nervous butterflies in your stomach the first time you do it. That's okay. You're going to like, I don't really know if I want to do this. The nervousness in the back of your head. The thing is you're going to need to do it, and it's really going to help you out, okay? So figure out just one more question, just one more question. One more question. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button. Subscribe. Then you can do me a favor and send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, the LinkedIn, Scott Sylvan Bell. Only Scott Bell Sylvan, coming to you live from Coronado, California. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha. Look, right back there, there's all the hotels and stuff. Yep, Coronado. Aloha.